Now it's like, I want to know what's next. What's the next step? Okay, how can we utilize this information to bring change? The problem is, all of it is over-intellectualized. We're beyond that. The level that I deal with now, when I deal with black magic and ancestral worship, if it's not that, I don't care. I don't want to know about, this was the original pharaoh back in that dynasty. How's that helping me in 2016? It ain't putting no money in my pocket. It ain't taking me on a further path. See, we want to get into these debates whether Muhammad and Jesus was black and what was first, and I really couldn't care, because you know what? None of them were real and they didn't exist anyway. So stop feeding me this pro-black stuff, so now I have a crutch to lean on so I can hate white folks. That's all it is. Because all these cats get up there and scream about the white man's the devil and what the white man did to you, and if they didn't talk about that, what would they really talk about? Nothing. Because what I found out is, over the years, melanated people want to be entertained. They don't want to be educated. There's a difference. So they want to sit in a lecture, and they want Sarah Suit Seti to stand up there and yell, the white man's the devil, and we're going to bang on the crackers, and you're like, yeah, you know, you're all riled up. And then when the adrenaline's over, and you're like, all right, shit's over. Then what? That's my whole point. Then what? My thing is, if you're in that mindset, you're a revolutionary, what the hell are you waiting for? Take it to the streets now. There's enough of shit going on. What are you waiting for? Somebody else to do it? So any of those brothers that come to me with the revolutionary stuff, I say, go to the streets now. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for somebody to do it for you? But no, they'll stay there and keep captivating your emotions and tell you what they're going to do to the white man. They ain't going to do a goddamn thing. Trust me when I tell you. Nothing. And I have no problem telling any of them that to their face. You know why? Because it's all bullshit, and it's all to feed off your emotions. That's not going to bring about change. That's going to bring about your death. Because if we all got to the street right now and said, that's it, I ain't taking it no more. We're overtaking the government building in downtown Miami. Good. Now you just did what they want you to do. Let's bring in the National Guard. Let's kill these fools. That's how that works. But instead of having 1 million man gathering, if we would have took 1 million drummers in a place up there, we could have changed the vibrational frequency of this planet, and they couldn't do shit about it. If we got together 1 million melanated people strong and did a spiritual mantra chant to our ancestors, it would scare the living shit out of them, and there's nothing they could do about it. We could change the energy grid of the planet, not just within ourselves, but we can change the energy grid of this planet, and those that would either have to get with it would have no choice. You either get with it or you don't. And you would go to the wayside, because our magical powers connected to nature are 50 times stronger than theirs. Yeah. The problem is, nobody's attacking this problem on the spiritual. They always want to go to the physical first, and that's the mistake. Before you can address the physical, all problems have their root in the spiritual first. And you'll learn that. Some people will learn it the easy way. Some people will learn it the hard way. And anytime you go back into history, if we ever went into battle, there was always a spiritual ritual enacted first before we went into battle. That's a fact. That's why we're in the condition we're in now. So all the protesting, oh, a black cop, a white cop just shot another black dude, we gotta go protest. And they go get Reverend Al Coon and Jesse Coon and have them all come down and beg you for money and sign up for the NAACP and Rainbow Push. You ever notice them coons only come when there's racist crime? But meanwhile, how many shootings just took place in Miami in the last 2 months where young black youth shot other young black youth? Yeah. Where's Sharpton and all the coons now? How come they're not coming down there, coming to Liberty City and Overtown, or going to areas in Harlem and Brooklyn where young black kids are getting shot every fucking day, and nobody's there protesting and doing anything about it? You want to know why? Because there's no money in that. The media don't care. It's just another black person killed another black person, so they couldn't care less. But, oh my God, a white person was involved in it. Story, money, media, Sharpton's there at the drop of a hat. Here comes Jesse behind him. We need to get a protest. It's all a charade and a show to feed off your damn emotions. We need to start holding them accountable, saying just as quick as you're going to go to something like that, you need to bring your ass down here. That's why I don't support any of them clowns. I wouldn't give them 5 cents of my money. If I was a billionaire and I had $10 million to waste, I wouldn't even give them $1.50 to buy a sandwich. That's how I feel about that. You understand? Go ahead.
Right. Speaking about the chakras. The first time I don't know if it's astral project or what, right? I was probably 17, 34 right now. Right. And you know, I was smoking trees, right? And you know, it's kind of like you get into that meditative state,
right?
You know, the environment, the body, everything was, as far as like the attention of those things is reduced. You know what I'm saying? And you just become like, all you experience is like awareness.
Right.
You're not really noticing the senses. And you know, everything turned white, and then like a cloud opened up, and that's sort of Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the second time I did that, maybe that was like probably like 3 months ago.
Okay.
And again, it was now this time. Now what happened the first time? I kind of got scared because that was the first time I did it.
Right.
I was like 17, right?
Right.
So I fell back into my body. Let's say.
And that'll happen, especially when the adrenaline is pumping and you get scared, because what happens is the hormone, the endorphins that the hormones produce, become strong, and it scares away that energy.
Okay. So it brings you back into the physical, right?
Yep.
So now the next time it was again, I was on top of a cloud. The cloud opened up, and I just saw, you know, in the distance, or the sun, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple of questions, but does that have anything to do with, you know, seeing clouds and all that? Does that have anything to do with what does that have to do with?
Yes. Now, what I would recommend when you're having experiences like that, you definitely want to keep, some call it a diary, a magical diary, a dream diary, an experience diary, because a lot of that is symbolic. When you see the earth opening up, you see the clouds, you see the sun, you see elements, your subconscious mind is trying to convey certain spiritual messages to you. You need to always write stuff like that down, because 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, you might have another experience connected to that experience. Now, some people will have good recollection. You may never forget it. You may not have to write it down. I'm just saying there are some people that can't recollect everything, so I would tell them to write them down. Now, there's a lot of imagery and symbolicism right there. It sounds like to me your spirits are trying to show you that you're getting ready to go through a transition stage. You're getting ready to go through major changes. Now, I don't know if when this was happening, your economic situation, your relationship and family situation, there had to be a lot going on while you were having that experience at that particular time. I don't know, especially economically.
Around that time, I just got knowledge of stuff. That's it.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
so that was a transformation. Then you were going through a mental change. You're going through a serious. When you see imagery like that, it means there's an aspect in your life that you're going through a serious transformational change. I've heard people describe the skies opening up, colors changing, skies opening up, lightning bolts coming down. Did you see yourself at all in any of this, or just the imagery? Okay. But again, based on what you're telling me, you could dig deeper, but I would write that down, and I guarantee you, as you go through your changes spiritually, like you say, coming into conscious and knowledge of self, and that could be a traumatic experience, whether you're aware of it or not. Now, you might say, no, it was no big deal to me. Did you come from a religious background prior to this? Okay. Now, did you have any guilt in your mind because you thought you were going against your family at all? Nothing like that?
Probably a couple.
Okay.
Probably like
right.
2 years
Now, even
before,
though you might think that it's not, you might not think that that's a big deal. You might think like, oh, it wasn't big, but subconsciously it might be impacting your mind. So you're having that experience, and it could be showing you this is the way to go. So the symbology that you're seeing in the dream is showing that this is the transformational. You know, it could be more than that, but I'm just saying, based on what you're telling me, and from my work with it, I can only tell you what I'm experienced in. I can't tell you exactly in detail what it was, because it was personal.
Okay, and that's cool, because that's how I see that anyway.
Correct.
So, what's the difference between? I mean, you explained it, but what's the difference? How do you know if it's projection or what you say?
Are you talking about astral projection
versus
or astral traveling?
Right.
Projection is when you would see yourself if it was projection, because when you're astrally projecting, you're projecting yourself somewhere else. Do you understand? When you're astrally traveling, you could see both, or sometimes you see through the mind's eye. That's why I had asked you, did you see yourself? And you said no. So that's why I'm telling you you were astrally traveling when that happened. That's how I know. Based on that for sure. When you astrally project, you can project yourself somewhere else. Now here's some shit that sounds crazy. But you can never invade somebody's space. You can astrally project yourself. Say you had, I know this sounds crazy, but it's a reality. Say you had a friend that lived in California. you can project yourself to them tonight. And you can go into their room and see them, and you can see everything in the room. Now, you cannot violate their personal space. I'm not saying this in a perverted way. You can go in their room and watch them getting it on. That's not what I mean. Because the spirit never allows you to violate. You'll know that when you work with those realms. But the same way, you can use that method to heal somebody that's from a far distance through visualization techniques and projection. So you can be on the phone with somebody and do it. You can visualize that person. Once you identify, say they say, I got a problem with my neck. That's a way you can do it. So it works both ways. So there's a difference between the two. Hold on, we have the sister in the back, then I get you on. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, I have a question on, I guess it's the astral traveling. I do that pretty often.
Okay.
There was, I guess, about 2.5 years ago, I went to a particular dimension, and that particular dimension felt like home. That felt like was where I came from, and so I've been slipping in and out of different ones, and I haven't been able to get back to that particular dimension with those beings, and I wanted to know if there's anything I can do to get directly there, or am I doing something wrong, or what?
Well, let me ask you a question. From the time that it happened, and then the time, like you say, it decreased and stopped, what was going on in your life?
It was a real critical time. It was a real crossroads.
Okay.
But like I said, that was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, again, when you go through trauma and emotion, just like I was telling the brother here, it'll tend, it puts up a blockage. When you got a lot of stuff you're dealing with personally, and a lot of stuff that weighs down, on you emotionally, it does affect your spirituality. It does affect the connect. I would do little things like spiritual cleansing, because I'm going to tell you, be careful sitting next to her, because you got a lot of West African spirits, a lot, and they are aggressive. And male spirits that you have they're very physical and very violent. If anybody ever corners you against a wall, it's the worst thing that somebody can do to you is put your back up against the wall, because I wouldn't want to see that. And I'm telling you. So I'm gonna get you 1 second. I see you. So what you need to do is, because you have very aggressive spirits, you need to do things to calm them and appease them. Like, one thing that's very good for you is to go down to the beach and clean yourself with salt water. You need salt water. Clean and cleanse your entire head, all right? Because you, not just in the Yoruba pantheon, Yemaya, but when I was mentioning Kali Ma, I didn't know why I was mentioning it earlier, but you have the energy of Kali Ma. And I was trying to figure out who it was in the room, and I couldn't see you because he was blocking. But that is let me tell you, Kali Ma brings change. When I say abruptly, what I'm trying to tell you how this works is, it's called the school of hard knocks. It's like when you teach somebody to swim, she's the type of person that'll just throw you in the water and tell you to swim. That's the type of energy it is. It's not, they don't cozy you. No, it's learn trial by fire. So I would clean your head with a lot of salt water. Another good thing that's really good for you, create a spiritual bath for yourself with any herbs and scents that you like. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Sleep in white and wrap your head in white. Do that whenever you feel stressed out or your head feels heavy, because what that will do is clean and purify your head. I'm telling you, trust me, do that. You need that because you work with a lot of African, but they're aggressive male spirits, and they're not female spirits. Now, the reason why I said down by the water, Olukun is like, it's not Yemaya. Olukun is an aggressive male spirit that lives deep in the ocean. And just like she has, and that's why you're sitting you two next to each other, if you go out in the deep water, be careful. If you go out in the deep water, you can go into a trance and get sucked into the water. Okay? So, because what that spirit does is call their children home. I'm not saying if you're on shore at the beach, swim, that's okay. But if you're on a cruise ship, be careful. If you go stand out and gaze at the water, you'll feel like just jumping in and getting lost. Go ahead.
Let me ask you two questions. What do you know about the people that sleep on the water?
The people that sleep in the water?